Good afternoon. This is Mark Harrison with Sewer Line Check Professionals. I'm here at 5236 Baltimore Street in Highland Park, and I'm in the process of performing a video examination of the main sewer line for Tracy Bremer. Now, the main sewer line is the portion of the waste drainage piping that is exterior to the structure. It lies underground and connects the building drain line system to the public sewer. The building drain line system then is the portion or portions of the waste drainage piping that would be underneath or interior to the structure. Our examination today is not focused on the building drain line system. So if further evaluation is desired regarding the building drain line system, a licensed plumbing contractor should be contacted, or a specialty building drain line video examination can be set up through our office. So I am currently sitting underneath the street here, looking down into the public sewer, about 115 feet from where I dropped in at the 4-inch main sewer line cleanout. It's over here on the right side of the structure, near the back. Now, the reason I'm starting here is because it was very difficult to get the camera out this far. I had to have a lot of water running, and it just really made it difficult to see. So a system of this configuration really should have more than one cleanout. A lot of turns, especially a big vertical drop behind the garage, and then another drop as you come out the front of the garage on the sidewalk. Add that to the linear footage of the system, and it's just kind of difficult to be able to maintain the whole thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull off the public sewer here, and we're going to examine this line in a backwards fashion. So as we come off the public sewer, we're pulling back up into the original 6-inch diameter concrete piping. Now, the concrete pipes were pretty common in around this area, in different parts of LA prior to 1965. They exhibit similar conditions to the clay pipes that we see, with the exception that they do deteriorate more, and they're a little bit more brittle. You can see the rough surface here along the bottom, and the aggregate or small rocks in the concrete mixture showing through. But what we're really looking for anything is cracked or broken, anything of any nature that would be considered a compromise to the integrity of the pipe. And one thing that should be understood is, in the city of Los Angeles, the local municipality is requiring rehabilitation of these concrete laterals at the property owner's expense in the event of building-related construction. So certain types of projects or work that might be done on the property might trigger that, and the building and safety would want to see this lateral. And basically, it states that if it's concrete, that it shall be rehabilitated with an approved lining system at the property owner's expense. Our purpose here today is not really to enforce that. It's really to see what kind of condition it's in, how it's functioning. Has some minor roots intruding at this joint. Like I said, that's one of the situations that's pretty common in the concrete and clay pipes. Normally we are suggesting that those roots can be maintained with regular sewer line cleanings. It's when they're left unmaintained for extended periods that they create blockages and potentially damage a pipe. Here we're pulling back up into a section of clay now. This is where we drop down at the front of the garage area. So we're dropping pretty steeply there. And then we level off. And some more roots in the clay in that area. Pulling back up under the garage floor now, we're changing to a cast iron piping material. The reason for that is clay is not approved for use under the structural footprint of the building. So they would have used cast iron. Today they use plastics, things like that. Now, the cast iron piping materials typically were expected to last somewhere in the 70 to 80 year range. So depending on if this is original or not, it may be nearing the end of its useful service life. We're just going to go ahead and get a good look at it, see what kind of condition it's in. Let that water run out here for a second. What I'm seeing is really what I would consider moderate rust and scale. You see the color of the water there as it's running through. It stays pretty clean, so that's a good indicator that the pipe's still within its useful service life. But this section, like I said, does run under the garage, and ideally there'd be some sort of clean out down there in the garage floor, or at the top of this drop as we pull back up, just to give better access to this system for maintenance. Not much in the way of roots on the lower section, but we do have some. Now here is that vertical drop I was talking about. Try and get a clearer view of it. Unfortunately, there's water running in a pipe, and the camera's hanging straight vertically up and down. Can't really see anything. That looks like it is the clay piping. Make that drop. Give this a second to drain out so you can get a better look at it. Gotta be able to see this through here. I don't see any obvious breaks or shifts in these clay pipe sections. So right here at the top of that drop, you'll see an opening here. This might be something that could be exposed and extended up for an additional cleanout access. I'll go ahead and try to locate that before I finish here. And right here we have a situation occurring that is pretty common. When we take a long vertical drop, these clay pipes don't necessarily hold up well. You'll see here we've got some cracking occurring in this fitting that makes that downward turn. And then as we pull back, you see a pretty good offset. So this whole fitting is kind of being turned downwards. So I think that's what I'm going to recommend here, is that this area is exposed and a new plastic cleanout be put in right there. That'll handle that offset and cracking. Preventative measure, as well as providing better access for the lower end. Alright, so as we pull back, this is a more modern style clay piping here. You can see the black rings at the joints. Those are couplings, so these would not be original sections of pipe. So I think some of this has been upgraded at some point. And as we get back closer to the structure, looks like we're going back into an older section, and we have pretty significant root intrusion in the older sections here as we start coming back. Definitely some shifting and offsetting occurring at some of these joints. This is an actual break just beyond the joint. You can see the joint where the mortar is, and then just past that there's a section that's raised up. It's actually a broken and shifted pipe there. So another look at the rest of this. Looks like kind of the same thing occurring here. More cracking beyond the joints, with significant roots coming in through the cracks, not the joints themselves. That's more of a root intrusion of the joint here. Again, more cracking just beyond the joint, not as significant. So this first 25 feet of pipe or so is in pretty bad shape. Just a lot of stress, significant roots, cracking of varying degree. There's another broken section there. So I'm going to locate the lower end of this 25-foot section. I think I'm just going to recommend that it be replaced, rather than start talking about cleanings and follow-ups and all that stuff. There's enough here that we can see today that will lead us in that direction. Yeah, more breaks here along the bottom of this section, heavy roots at the top. Pretty much as soon as we get into the clay here, we've got the heavy roots. cracks with roots coming through them. So that's just kind of the theme here, this first 25 feet. And then here we had a blockage occurring. This is where our new plastic connects up to the clay, and this joint's the worst of the roots, and line was backing up some, and I punched some of the debris out of the bottom to get it to drain. Alright, so at this point, I'm going to suggest two repairs. We're going to replace probably about 20 feet of pipe here, 20 to 25 feet of pipe here along the side of the house, and then expose that section before it makes that vertical drop to put in another clean out. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video portion of the examination for today. Please do refer to the written report for the description of the final findings and recommendations. This is Mark Harrison with Sewer Line Check Professionals. Thank you very much and have a pleasant day.